You see it everywhere. The $1 million farms that are taking hundred of thousand of acres of land and they're building massive farms to produce tons of milk. It's just a factory, 3,000 all the way up to like 10,000 cows on a farm. It's just a factory. You flip the table and you go to Texas, and what do you got? You got the same thing. It's in beef cattle. You're raising steers, you're raising heifers, you're producing calves. It's the same thing. What is our plan from all of this? What is it leading up to for us? What do we plan to do? We obviously been seeing we've been milking cows. We've been, I don't know, we're averaging 200 cows. We're down to like 100. It's going in the wrong direction. Why? Because we're deciding to go the beef side. All right. You don't need a mega farm like Texas. You don't need the 100,000 cows or the thousands of cows, tens of thousands of cows, whatever they got down there in Texas. The dairy farms up here, you got in Wisconsin here, you got like 10,000 cows or whatever on a farm. Biggest one, towards whatever, Manawa. I don't know, almost up to 8,000 cows. It's a factory. It's not farming anymore. It's just factory work. We're obviously not going to do factory work. We're not going to make the farm a factory. All right? That's plain and simple. But we are changing and we're running into some issues. Many issues. We need to fix them. Tag along. Issue number 1. Get rid of the cows. Well, finding a buyer takes a while. Putting ads out or whatever. Found a buyer, but we got a small issue. He wanted to raise heifers and dry cows, from the other farm, make a deal. Moving the older dry cows over to the farm, it's become of a pain because their joints are getting sore from the move, the cattle ride in the trailer. And if you notice, we bed with sawdust. So it's very different from what they're used to. They're used to sand, shown here. And we have the same thing, the same free stalls, which you can see here, the same free stalls, but we don't have sand, we do the sawdust. While both bedding options, whether sand or sawdust, are both neutrally effective, sand does eat away at your equipment and erode it, but sawdust doesn't do it as bad, so we just chose to do sawdust, and we can get it cheap enough to where it's affordable to do so. Now what's the decision to be made about the dry cows and the heifers now that we're not going to raise them and they're going to a different farm that has sand and that they're used to, The older dry cows are used to getting up in sand. It's deeper, it's more forgiving for them. And now what do we go for? Well, we're milking longer. It's a little bit of a sucky part, but we are going to milk longer. Not being set up in any shape, form, whatever for beef cattle, you're all set up for a dairy farm. You have the cows for dairy farm. You're getting rid of those cows. Now you have to get beef cows. Do you buy them or do you just raise from what you already have? What's the goal with this? I mean, wet calves per se. Wet calf is, a calf that just was born 3 days ago, 4 days ago. You buy it $15 a pound. Those calves are like 200 pounds or whatever. You got a grand synced into a calf right there that you don't even know if it's going to live for another 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You don't know how strong the body is yet on the organs and the system, the internal system of the calf. You don't know how strong it is. You could go to a bigger calf, steer or heifer that's fully bred to being beef cattle. Where do you go with that? They're like I think it's 8 to 10 cents a pound, and that they're like 400 pounds or whatever. They sell for like 2, 3K. That's ridiculous. You're not gonna buy small calves that are at hip height for like $2,000 and then raise them and then sell them. You get them to 3 times that size, and you're selling them for a truckload of like 6 or 8, maybe 10, and you're getting what, 30,000 in 6, 8 months, maybe 12 months, a year. You know, and you have to feed them corn, and you have to feed them hay to fatten them up, and you got to get them there. All the expenses laid in. What are we gonna do? It takes a lot of brainstorming to get this figured out because do we buy? Do we keep raising? If you have any idea on how we can do this, you have more experience than us. You have any ideas, drop them in the comments. So farmers out there, you've been doing this a while, great. If you have advice, drop in the comments. I'll relay it to Boss Man. He's not very techy on this, so that's why I'm doing this, but I will relay it there, and we need to figure this out. Ideas will help. He's got some ideas that he's not really expressing right now, that he's still in the work of planning, but other ideas would help. That's where we're at right now. I'll try to keep updating as we go. You got any ideas, any questions? Let me know in the comments. Great place to leave them. I'm gonna try to get an update on this in the scenario where we're at in life here in the farm. I'll tell you right now, the prices for selling and buying cattle is high, and it's would take a toll on, like, it's great for our selling the cows, the dairy cows is great for that, but buying beef to race, that's gonna be a pain. Um, so I see you in the next one. Let me know how this goes. I'll let you know how it goes, and